Hamster, welcome to the SAINTCON hallway.
Thank you.
Your handle is Hamster?
It's true.
And self-given, earned, other?
Self-given. When I was in high school, my mother rescued a couple of hamsters, and that was when I first got on the internet. And about the only thing I could do at 2400 baud was be on IRC, and you had to pick a nick. And I thought it was funny, the idea of a hamster typing on a keyboard, since I had the hamsters. And then when I got to college, we were given a choice of what do you want your email address to be? And mine was Hamster. And what I didn't realize in going to a tech school, I went to New Mexico Tech, is that your email address becomes your name. At least at New Mexico Tech it did. There's a guy I know, I have no idea what his real name is, but I still know him as K. Scott, for instance. But anyway, yeah, so everyone knew me as Hamster. It stuck. I like it, so it's done me well. So
awesome. How many years have you come to SAINTCON?
Oh, man. I remember, I have an early memory of SAINTCON when it was up at Utah State University. I remember driving up there for just like a day to figure out what it was all about. And it wasn't until about...
Was it in Weber?
Yeah, Weber. Yeah,
okay, I was like, I don't think it's been in Utah State, but I don't know, but it's definitely been in Weber.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was up there, and it's the last, I don't know, about 3 or 4 years. I kind of figured the back door to be able to get into cons and afford them is to volunteer at them. So, and of course, you know, the deeper you get into the volunteering, honestly, the more fun you have and the more people you meet, and the crowd here, the organizers, and it's just such a great group of people working with. So, you know, I throw out an idea. It's like, what if we do that? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. How much money do you need to make that happen? And I love this community. So the first year you showed up as a participant or as a volunteer? As a participant. I think I borrowed someone's badge. They were like, oh, I'm not going today. You can borrow my badge. So. And how many years until you started volunteering? I probably skipped it to next year. Maybe it was a year after that I figured out some way to volunteer. Honestly, I think I did a talk that year on making badges. So, and you're not a fan of badges or making or hardware. That's all just stuff you don't like. Yeah, I should tilt this camera down because it's missing all your whole chest here. But I mean, what's the passion for badge making and hardware? Like, when did you get into that where you're just like, this is what I want to deal with? Well, it started for me at DEF CON. Some of the early badges that were done there. I remember just the amazing times I had hacking the badges and learning about them and the community there. And then it kind of went from like it being something that someone else does to what if I did some of that? And then as the microcontrollers got more accessible and easier to get to, and the community started to come around, it became this thing where, like, as we congealed as a community, we were able to feed off of each other. So one guy would have, hey, here, I did this, and everyone looked at it and said, that's a really cool idea. How'd you do that? And all these ideas being shared, and it just kind of progressively got more fun to do amazing designs, different things, and just kind of spiraled out of control at that point, right? So, yeah, I love doing badges. I like doing the hardware. I like the self-containedness of it. So, like, you come up with an idea, you build it, you manufacture it, you distribute it, and it's like, hey, that was over and done, and we did this cool thing, and it isn't like I have to support this for 20 years, right? So, when did you get into, like, hacking cyber stuff? Like, how, you know, you mentioned getting into the badges, but before that you said, well, you were already at DEF CON. How did that lead to, like, I'm going to want to go to DEF CON, I want to do these things? Sure. Yeah, as I mentioned, I went to New Mexico Tech. I pursued a dual major in electrical engineering and computer science and horribly failed out of both of them, and I do not have a degree at all. But I had friends that got into more of a security stuff, and at the time I was a consultant doing networks and systems, that sort of thing. And I had some friends who were like, oh, we're going to DEF CON, and I'm up in Salt Lake, and I'm like, oh, I drive down to that. And again, early years was me, like,
someone left on Sunday and I borrowed their badge to kind of get in, and then slowly started buying my own way in. And these days I give talks or volunteer, so I like hacking the cons like that, right? I really like the community again, and all the stuff that's going on. It isn't just like hacking computers and white hat, black hat kind of stuff. All the other hacking things with hardware and whatnot, it just kind of speaks to me.
Right. New badge idea. A badge degree. Then you can't say that. I got a degree. It's right here.
Yeah.
You don't have to use that. It's not a great idea. What are you excited? What project you working on? What's something that you're doing right now?
Well, honestly, I've been having a lot of fun with the SAINTCON mini badges and whatnot. So about 3 years ago, my wife got into doing some Etsy stuff that she never actually opened an Etsy store for, but she got all the stuff set up to do dye sublimation for like T-shirts and mugs and whatnot. And then she kind of got out of it, and the equipment kind of set in the corner. And then one day I was sitting there looking at it. I'm like, I wonder if I could do dye sublimation on a white PCB. And I tried it, and it worked. And now I'm just, I don't know, I keep doing dye sublimation things. I mean, you can see the full color PCB panel that I have here that I did at home that's super cheap. So right now I've been really passionate in looking at ways that I can do that and do interesting things. If you get a chance to walk past the mini badge display, I have a mini badge that is 25 mini badges.
Is that no longer considered a mini badge? What's the definition of a mini badge if it's 25?
Yeah, well, they're all mini, right?
It's just mini to what?
Right.
If somebody wanted to come and chat with you, clearly they can talk about hardware and badges and blinky lights. But are there other hobbies that are not your security questions that maybe they might have a common thread with you that they can rap about? Sure,
yeah. I love doing all manner of things. I ride motorcycles. I like spinning wrenches. In the summertime, you can find me broken down on the side of a road in my diesel pickup, towing a camper on our way to camping somewhere. I like my wife is big into beekeeping, and as I say, I'm her bumbling assistant. So we do beekeeping, backyard chickens. I love like Halloween and Christmas decorations, making light shows and stuff like that.
I was going to ask, how many of those do you have? Well, I know you don't know the exact number. What's the gut number? How many LEDs are external at your house at Christmas time?
At Christmas time, I think I'm pushing about 3,000 right now, which is probably kind of on the low end of like other light shows. I've got an idea this year that I'm hoping works out. I've been busily 3D printing some things, so we'll see how it goes. I've been using like the NeoPixel style RGB LEDs because they're controllable. I have like Falcon Christmas Player that I use to drive all of those. And what I really wanted was some C9 bulbs. They're like the classic big bulbs. I love how they look, but I want them RGB. And it's possible to get them, but not without spending like $50 a string, and I don't want to do that. So I have been 3D printing covers for the standard ones, and I'm going to do a row of them like luminaries across the front of my yard with them, and we'll see how that works out. So that's after SAINTCON, after SuperCon is coming up. After that, I can finally get back to concentrating on another project, which will be that. So
awesome. Well, we appreciate all the volunteer, all the work, all the badge stuff for SAINTCON and mini badges and DCZia 1 and all the things over all the years. And thank you for joining us in the SAINTCON hallway, and hope to see you here next year.
Yeah, thanks for having me.